Greetings ladies and mental gents, and welcome to my channel, where I like to make audio narrations of various stories from the internet. In this video, we'll be focusing on a story from the subreddit HFY, called Billy Bob Space Trucker, Chapter 6, written by Regal Legal Eagle. The link to the original story will be down below, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Cast leader's Bleeblob's face was contorted into what his people could call a scowl, and what the humans in general would call fricking ugly. This being was a step up from really ugly that would normally be classified as. What do you mean we haven't found any traces of that ship heading towards the core systems? He was speaking with one of the other cast leaders, Cleroy, who was in charge of surveillance and tracking. Normally, Bleeblobs respected his compatriots with the tireless work in the service for the cause, but at the moment they was exactly not thrilled. They have to take one of the small clawful of roots. His ship is a strange barbaric hunk of junk, and I gave you our exact position when we lost contact with him. The figure on the screen blinked a few of its eyes and it dropped its mandibles for a moment. This was the equivalent of a human shrugged. And using this information, I have searched for him but found no sign. Are you positive that he did not go another way? Know your mission as well as I. You know her treacherous kin is as well as I. She is heading to the capital. Where else would they be going? The cast leader once more blinked a set of eyes and opened his mandibles. But I found a ship matching that description just recently. One of my surveillance teams noted it entering the black market station that we've been watching. The only problem is that it's heading away from the core, along the spineward direction. Bleeblob's mandibles twitched and quivered in motion to indicate thinking. Would they try to take a different route to throw us off their trail? They must still head coreward to get to the capital. How far is it? Show me on a map. He looked up at the map, and it popped up in quickly, and let one of his mandibles wiggle to indicate the negative. One creature did not travel that distance in a short time alone. It must be another of his kind. Then I'm afraid, cast leader, that we've lost your prey for the moment. Bleeblob let out an angry chittering and slammed his claw into his console. I have yet to fail in a task given to me by the matriarch, cast leader. I will find him. Anger is unnecessary. You must be patient, as with hunting the sash eels. They think themselves elusive until we snap. Bleeblob just glared at his screen. That ugly little creature left two of my eyes blind, and the searing pain from his chemical weapon is not to be taken lightly. I don't want to wait if this hunting sash eels. Let me charge him like a black bull. I will rip him apart with my claws. He seethed and chittered. He's normally green hydrating mucus turning grey for a moment. If he's a brisk bull, cast leader, he is the most cunning and intelligent one that I have ever heard of. Bleeblob cut off the feed angrily. He looked over at the security footage image, and he placed one wall of his ship's stateroom. Rearing back on his back legs for a moment, he cried out, "You cannot hide from me forever. I will find you, and I will have my revenge. Mark my words." Billy Bob, Space Trucker. Slowly, he surveyed the sight in front of him. The 5 space sporks were groaning and trying to recover their various wounds. He looked between them as he stayed close to the one that he'd hit with a throwing knife. Not going to give me any trouble now, are you? He began to open and close each hand as if trying to make some sound with his hand clapping. His translator informed him that there was a surrender. Good. You people got medics. Feel free to call one out, he said to the bleeding Bork, as it quickly began to grab some of the sort communicator that he looked over at Emily. Not bad, huh? She was looking over the creatures for a moment before glancing back at him. Interesting. Why did you attack the space Borks? Easy. They were bored. With her hood up and the screen in place, she realized that he couldn't see her face that she made when confused and clear. What? Look. This is a business place, right? I exit my ship, and I've got this stupid flicking light. And stains, all kinds of stains, some of them blood, I'm guessing. Who has a market set up in a flickering lights and stains? Then I see these yokels are standing around with obviously high-powered weapons and targeting computers. Those are all illegal, right? She nodded. Who the hell hires guards who get bored at their job while wielding gear like that? That isn't pacify a drunken patron gear. That's kill people gear. Am I wrong? Emily thought it over for a moment and looked at the wounded Vakish around her. They were known as being decently hardy and strong race, best known for ambushes and cutthroat raids, not guards. Of course, Billy Bob was apparently hardier and stronger in a fight than any indication. That sounds logical. Right, back on Earth I knew the Spike again. Had some bad frickers that rode with the crew. Now, for some of the boss that they didn't pick the best killer to be the bouncer. Killers got bored being guards, different types of people. They picked some guy who didn't get bored with his work, and knew how to bust someone but keep him alive, and he wasn't packing a fricking machine gun. What is a big gun with just killing lots of people? Now, if they moved in on somebody's territory, well, then the Skullcrackers made their presence known for a while. He poked one of the groaning Borks who were clenching his head and whimpering. Did you guys just take over? Yes. 3 solar cycles ago, we overthrew the space goblins who were running this place. Please don't hit me. Some space Bork you turned out to be. Billy Bob was slightly disappointed, but Emily was worried. Who hired you? The Bork groaned, and Billy Bob looked at Emily for a moment. She was about to ask him to help, but Billy Bob took it upon himself and giving the creature a gentle nudge with his wood. Hey, the lady is asking you a question. We were hired by a Zalvian. He ordered all ships to dock to be seized and the crew to be sent to a holding until further notice. Stop hitting me. Billy Bob, we need to go, Emily said flatly, which caught his attention. As he looked back at her for a moment, he then had to quickly turn as the back doors past the security station hissed open. Frick, why did I let him call a medic? He mumbled as he looked no less at 10 Borks, blue shields flickering as they aimed their nasty-looking weapons at him. There was also too much of large mechanical things behind them. Out in front of the regular Borks was a bigger one, with a green feathered headpiece of some sort, fancy-like. Yet things got ugly. Billy Bork could make note to kill him first. What? The ugly creature managed to subdue the 5 of you? With a cudgel? It's also a knife, the Bork, clutching his arm, said defensively. With my what? Billy Bob asked. He means your stick, Emily offered. It's a baseball bat. Jesus, I need to teach you Xenos about sports. He shook his head for a moment. Captain, the creature is strapped with explosives. One of the big mechanical things behind the other 10 reported. Must be a Bork in a fancy suit then. That's right, and I'm not afraid to use them. So, like I said earlier, take me to your leader. Billy Bob had bluffed his way out of worse places. The captain growled as it looked down on Billy Bob and then nodded. Fine. But your little stick won't help you against the battle suits. The Borks fanned out as they surrounded Billy Bob and Emily. 3 plus the captain in the front, the rest plus the mech suits behind them. As they started to walk to the main station, Billy Bob got a better look at the place. This looked more like a shady market that he was used to, aside from the fact that the place was empty, which was creepy. There were stores piled with goods, small carts covered in junk, large stores with more established goods. He could smell something that seemed tasty, but there wasn't anything cooking at the moment. Emily began to speak as they moved. This is bad, Billy Bob. Zalvians are bad. Very bad. They worship the sick god that revels in disgusting and twisted spectacles. They come from an incredibly mineral-rich system and exploit that, despite the full blockade of the galactic government. Few species will ever deal with them. The Spaceborks code make them uninterested in the Zalvians so that their workforce works for them from time to time. But even they need to be paid massive sums. This is very bad, Billy Bob. He stayed quiet and looked around as they walked. It was sort of like a big block of stalls, and the streets around them were all the stalls and carts. But they were walking through the area heading to some place up and in the center. There were a few more Borks guarding the elevator, but it seemed like this was the main group of Xenos guarding the place. They also didn't seem to understand the concept of firearms, which was good for him. 6 of the Borks and the captain surrounded him in the elevator as they rose up and they emptied out in the sort of control room, throne room hydra type place. There were no stains or flickering lights in here, but the smell of cleaning products seemed to be universal. Must have done some sprucing up lately. There was mostly unhappy-looking space goblins at the consoles around the place, with some Bork standing over them. Past the console, sitting on a throne, was ooh, hell no. Billy Bob's hands tightened around his bat. His teeth clenched and his eyes narrowed in a mixture of hatred and disgust. His nostrils flared, and his heart rate picking up a little as he worked to control himself. He'd figured that there were some sick Xenos out there, but he'd never imagined it would be this bad. Mostly, he just added space in front of every Earth animals because it worked for him, and these creatures certainly fit that certain name, but even he nearly shuddered to say it. That large, grossly rotund midsection, those tufts of stringy cotton candy-like blue hair, those ridiculously large feet, that pasty white complexion, and that face. Oh, that face! Those features wrapped in a strange parody of mixed colors and giant red nose. He was looking at a mother-fricking space clown. He growled out, letting the hatred and anger flow through him. I'm going to kill the crap out of this guy as soon as I get a chance. Sure, he'd have 4 arms and an extra eye right in the center of that fat fricking forehead, as it wasn't bad enough already. But that was a bona fide space clown. When he got closer, his mounting disgust, he realized that a part of the rotund mix section was rippling like some sort of gas bag. And it stunk. Emily thought that his rip the other day was bad. She must be struggling. Then he heard a cough and partially gag behind him. Seemed like she was having a rough time indeed. What's this? Such a deliciously hideous creature joining my little show. The creature said in a high-pitched voice. It sounded like her fingernails on the chalkboard in Billy Bob's mind. Speak for yourself, you massive pile of runny donkey crap. Oh, what an interesting expletive, yes. The Borks forced Billy Bob and Emily closer as Billy Bob left hand led down to his M1911. He wanted to end this, but the Borks would likely object. Yes, I think you'll do wonderfully in the arena. Such a show that I've in store for my god. He'll be most pleased. You know, freckers like you are why preaching freedom of religion is so fricking hard. Billy Bob growled out. What? There's only one true religion. The others are all wrong. Yeah, okay, I didn't even need more reasons to kill you. But I think it's time for you to face my gauntlet of horror. And what if I don't want to? You're standing over the trapdoor, so you don't have a choice. Billy Bob looked at the floor beneath him, noticing the outline. Well, crap. And so ends another chapter in the adventures of Billy Bob Space Trucker. If you enjoyed this story and wish to support the author, the link is down below. If you would like to support this channel, there are numerous ways to do so. They will also be listed in the description down below. But the easiest way to help this channel is to share it, subscribe, and like. And, as always, I will see you all in the next video, and I hope that you have a good one. Cheers!